Right, on the topic of the globalization of American politics. In my last video, I pretended to not know anything about the United States. And the truth is that I don't know that much about it. I honestly don't really follow politics that closely, even here in my country, Canada, or anywhere else. It just doesn't interest me. I'm not that kind of person. I don't really care about the news that much, or current events and whatnot. But one thing that I find very irritating, very irksome, is American hegemony and the globalization of the American perspective and any event in the United States. And I don't know if it was clear to everybody, or if it is clear when I make these kinds of jokes on the internet, that this is in fact a bit. It is something that brings me great pleasure, is to pretend that I don't know about the United States, that that the United States is less important than it itself thinks that it is. Obviously, this is a bit, and I acknowledge that America has hegemony over the entire world. It's a very tragic situation, possibly the worst thing that has ever happened in the history of human society, is American hegemony. It's really destructive, and its cultural institutions like Hollywood in particular are the real perpetrators of this global soft power. I really despise it, and again, it just brings me great pleasure to put on this bit where I pretend that America doesn't exist. It is not as important as it thinks it is, and that I just don't know about it. This is like a reaction to, again, the globalization of American politics. And I think that if I'm not speaking to Americans now. Americans, you can turn off. I'm speaking to everybody outside of the United States. But I would encourage you to join me on this bit, because it is just a joke. I'm just having fun. It's funny to me. But I also think that it is very important to resist American hegemony by, engaging in this sort of behavior where you are basically denying the power of American hegemony. So that means, don't pay so much attention to American politics. Pay attention to, your own local politics, especially municipal, is the level at which things are really relevant and important and worth paying attention to. But basically, I would encourage anybody who is not in the United States to decenter the United States in your thinking. I know they have this hegemony, and the fucking election seems like it's the most important goddamn thing in the world. But basically, America sucks. It is the worst place in the world. It is a failed state. It's worse than Bulgaria. It's worse than Romania. It's worse than, I don't know, anywhere in Africa or in Asia. It's absolutely the worst state in the world. It is a failed country, and it is determined to bring us all down with its tentacular grip on every aspect of international economy and culture. It's a terrible situation, and I would recommend, resisting it by ignoring it, not fully ignoring it and pretending that it doesn't actually exist, that it's not real, because it is. And, you do need to kind of study the effects that the United States has wrought on the world at large, as well as your own, wherever the hell you happen to be. But, in your conversation, in your thinking, in your, in what you pay attention to, pay less attention to the United States. It doesn't deserve all of our attention. It is the worst place in the world. It sucks. It has brought nothing good to the world. And I just think that, we'd all be a lot better off if it didn't exist. This is why I love to buy things off of Alibaba rather than Amazon, and why I think that, replacing one hegemonic superpower with another, the United States with China, is not like a great solution to anything, but it is, a change. I would prefer, Chinese hegemony to American, because, the culture is far better. It's a millennial old culture. And, there's a real history of workers' movements, of peasants' movements, and of like real communist revolution there that we would be able to take advantage of. Whereas the United States really has nothing to offer the left. It sucks. It's the worst place in the world. I look forward to the day when Russia and China are able to fully supplant its hegemony and it continues its free fall into oblivion.